What have you learned from your audience feedback? In order to record our audience feedback, we asked a group of 14 people to look over all three of our products and answer the questionnaire. The answers to what we believe to be the most important questions will be presented in the following graphs. This graph displays our audience's answers to the question, out of 10, what rating would you give our documentary? As you can see, the most common score given by our audience was 8 out of 10. This suggests that members of our target audience felt that our documentary was informative and solid. However, there were some low ratings of 5 and 6 given, which suggests that there is still things that could have been improved about our documentary. The following graph displays the answers to the question, did you learn anything interesting from all three products? With the numbers 93 and 7 representing the percentage of people that answered yes or no. With 93% of people citing that they did learn something interesting from the three products, and a tiny 7%, the equivalent of one person, saying that they didn't. When asked what specific thing they found most interesting, the most popular answer was a fact that we included in our documentary. The fact stated that it was legal to drink alcohol in your home at the age of 5. We included this fact in the documentary to shock our audience, and as you can see from the results of the graph, it was effective. The following graph shows the answers to the question, was the double page spread well edited, and what features did you like the most? With 14 people answering that yes, the page was well edited, and with not a single person answering no. From this information, we have learned that our double page spread article was the most successful of the three products and appealed the most to our target audience. We also learned what things our audience liked the most about this product. The most common answer being that it was aesthetically pleasing to look at, especially the main image which we edited ourselves for this purpose. The final graph shows the answer to the question, does the radio trail make you want to watch the documentary? Although the majority of people answered yes, there was still quite a high number of people that said no. From this, we have learned that our radio trailer was the weakest of the three products. This also highlights how many improvements could still be made. So, what did the audience think could have been improved? First of all, our documentary. The most common answers to this question were the sound levels and the lighting. As for the sound levels, I think that this may be down to the fact that they listened to our documentary out loud through speakers. I think this because we went through our whole documentary manually, adjusting the sound levels so that one bit wasn't too high and one bit wasn't too low. I think that if they listened to our documentary individually using headphones, that this wouldn't have been such an issue. As for the issue of lighting, I think this applies to one specific interview in the documentary. Without proper lighting equipment, it was difficult to adjust the light levels, which left this interview looking a little bit dark and grey. So I understand why the audience would want to improve that. And that concludes what we learnt about what people thought could have been improved about our documentary. Now we move on to what the audience thought should have been improved about our radio trailer, which was the weakest of the three products, with 5 out of 14 people saying that it didn't make them want to watch the documentary. Our audience suggested that we only use one voice on the radio trailer. On the trailer we used 3 different people to do the voice of the voiceover. We thought that this would mean that our documentary would appeal to a wider range of people, as well as stray away from conventions of normal radio trailers. However, our audience feedback showed us that this was perhaps not the case, and that we should have stuck to using one voice for the radio trailer, as we did the documentary. Another common issue brought to our attention was that louder backing music was needed on the radio trailer. Again though, I think this may have been down to the fact that they listened to it out loud instead of using earphones, and I think the backing track would have been a lot clearer. And finally, this is what we learned that our audience thought should have been improved about our double page spread, which was the strongest of our 3 products. We learned that people would have preferred a more eye-catching pull quote. Perhaps this could have been achieved by just enlarging the font or maybe changing the colour of the text. Anything that would have made the quote stand out a little bit more. Finally, we learned that we should have mentioned what channel the documentary is going to be airing on more clearly. Due to the fact that the double page spread task is meant to be advertising the documentary, I would agree that we should have made it more obvious what channel it was going to be airing on. One of the answers suggested that we did this along the bottom of the page, that way it wouldn't get in the way of the article, but it would still be easily noticeable. And that concludes what I learned from our audience feedback.